Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to unpack the big shifts shaping our world. And today, well, we're diving into something that really touches every single one of us, our relationship with work. We're asking, has hustle culture, that relentless grind, has it finally run its course? Are we right now in 2025 sort of redefining what success even means? It feels like a huge evolution. We went from burnout, quiet quitting, all that stuff, to now maybe more conscious career choices. That seems to be the idea. So our mission in this deep dive is to break down what's really happening in our work lives and what it says about our values.
Exactly. And we've got a lot of material to look at, sources that really paint a picture of this huge shift. What's striking really is just how fast it's all changed. It's prompted this global rethink of priorities.
Okay, let's get into it. We all remember, right, peak hustle culture, say 2015 to 2020. That constant drumbeat, 18-hour days, sleep when you're dead, all that. It was so glamorized. It seemed to pop up everywhere, didn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Influencers showing off being busy all the time. Those slogans like rise and grind, no days off. Success just seemed tied to being completely exhausted.
It's true. And it wasn't just one place, Silicon Valley, sure, but also old school corporations, even freelancers. Everyone felt that pressure, always needing to be on.
Yeah.
But look, this culture, it looked shiny, but the cost was immense. Burnout, anxiety, people felt disconnected. From family, hobbies, you name it. It got so bad, the World Health Organization actually classified burnout as an occupational phenomenon. That was back in 2019.
Right, so it wasn't just people complaining. It was official.
Exactly, a recognized health issue affecting millions.
And then, bam. 2020, the pandemic hits. It was like someone slammed a giant pause button on the world, wasn't it?
It really was.
Commutes disappear overnight. Remote work suddenly becomes normal.
Yeah.
And for maybe the first time, lots of people had the space to actually ask, what am I doing this for?
Yeah.
Is this?
That pause triggered a huge global reevaluation of work. It was profound. For so many, just climbing the ladder, it started to feel a bit empty, less fulfilling.
Yeah, I get that.
There was this real tangible shift. Purpose started to matter more than just getting the next promotion. And what's interesting is companies, they had to adapt fast. Suddenly, conversations about flex hours, mental health days, even the 4-day work week, they weren't just hypothetical anymore. They became real options companies were considering to keep people.
Okay, so fast forward. Here we are, 2025. What does success look like now? It feels like there's a pull towards something more personal, maybe, not just the old markers.
I think you're right. It's not just about the salary or the title anymore. People talk about fulfillment, freedom, health, mental and physical, and time. Definitely time.
Time is the new wealth. I keep hearing that phrase.
It really seems to be the case. Time has become incredibly valuable. You see professionals actually saying, okay, I'll take less money for an extra day off. That's a huge redefinition of wealth right there.
Wow.
And beyond that, people are leaving these high-paying city jobs for simpler lives, prioritizing experiences. We're seeing a big jump in career sabbaticals, too. There was a LinkedIn study just this year, 2025. It showed a 46% increase in people putting career break on their profile.
46%, that's huge. Employers are okay with it.
Increasingly, yes. They're not just accepting it. Sometimes they see it as a positive sign of self-awareness or gaining new perspectives. And all this feeds into a much more fluid way of working. Think freelancers, solopreneurs, digital nomads. They're getting really good at mixing passion, income, and crucially, rest.
It's funny, those influencers from like 5 years ago, the hustle gurus, a lot of them have totally shifted their brand. Now it's all mindfulness, balance, sustainability. It's almost like anti-hustle is the new hustle, a different kind of performance.
Maybe. But, we really have to give credit to Gen Z here. They've been incredibly vocal about this stuff, calling out toxic workplaces, unrealistic demands, and just prioritizing mental health in a way that maybe previous generations didn't feel they could.
That's a great point.
And looking even further ahead, Gen Alpha, they're watching their parents deal with burnout right now. They might just grow up to be the most naturally work-life balanced generation yet. They've seen the downsides firsthand.
So where does technology fit into all this? Has it helped? Hurt? It really feels like a double-edged sword, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, tools like Slack, Zoom, AI, they've definitely made remote and hybrid work smoother in many ways.
No doubt. They offer huge flexibility, but they've also massively blurred that line between work and home. It's just harder to switch off completely.
Yeah, the always available trap.
Exactly. So what we're seeing now in 2025 are companies trying to find solutions. Things like digital sunset policies, like no emails after 6 p.m. or scheduled do not disturb times.
Actual policies.
Oh, yeah, trying to build boundaries back in. And AI, it's interesting. It can automate repetitive tasks, free up time. But does it truly free us? Or does it just shift the burden to managing the AI, more complex problem solving, which can be its own stress?
That's a really good question.
The good news, though, is that idea of being constantly overwhelmed as some kind of badge of honor, that seems to be fading, finally.
And it's so crucial to remember, balance isn't.
Mm-hmm.
It's not one size fits all, right? What works for me might be terrible for you. Some people genuinely thrive on that high pace.
Absolutely. And that's okay.
The real question for you listening is, are you choosing it, or does it feel like the pace is choosing you?
That's the heart of it. Alignment.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you work 20 hours or 60, is your work aligned with your values, your health, your happiness? Ultimately, can you disconnect? Do you have time that's truly yours? That's the key.
Which leads to this idea of life design. It seems to be a growing trend. People literally treating their life like a design project, figuring out the ideal life first.
Right. And then fitting work around that.
Exactly. Instead of the old way, work first, squeeze life in around the edges. It's flipping the script. I heard about a software engineer who moved, to a remote island.
Oh, yeah.
Just so he could surf every morning before starting work. Now that feels like life design in action.
That's a perfect example. And this mindset, it's even filtering down into education. Schools are starting to ask kids not just what do you want to be, but what kind of life do you want to live?
Shifting the focus early.
Yeah. And you see it in the corporate world, too, in 2025. The companies winning the talent war, they're the ones supporting this. Flexible hours, wellness programs, remote options. They get that people want to work with their life, not constantly fight against it.
So, okay, what does this mean for you listening right now? If you're feeling like things are a bit out of whack work-life-wise, step one is probably just checking in with yourself. Asking, what does success actually look like for me right now in this season? What do I value most?
And once you have some clarity on that, the next step is boundaries. You have to set them. Schedule rest like you schedule meetings. Seriously, put it in the calendar. And don't be scared to pause or even pivot if things aren't working for your definition of success.
And giving yourself permission.
Exactly. And for any leaders listening, model it. If you take breaks, if you protect your time, it gives your team permission too. Look, the hustle, it's not totally dead, but it's definitely quieter, more intentional maybe. We're not just working to live or living to work anymore. Maybe we're finally learning to actually live well.
Well, that's our deep dive for today, exploring how we're redefining success in 2025. We'd really love to hear from you. How are you navigating all this? What does success mean to you now? Do reach out and share your thoughts.
Yeah, absolutely. And remember, there's always more to explore. Definitely subscribe if you want to join us for future deep dives on the topics shaping our lives. Until next time.
Yeah, take care of your work, but please take better care of your life.